What's up? I'm back. I wanted to get into this show called Wisecrackers on YouTube. They pretty much break down the philosophy of different shows and movies like Rick and Morty, and get into like the deeper meaning. And something that they said was very important to me, and they were talking about how commercials and certain corporations pretty much it's their job to keep us happy, because if we weren't happy, they'll be useless. If we didn't, like, happiness is what I guess you could acquire value, because everybody is in this pursuit of happiness, in the sense of we're not inherently happy, we're not naturally happy. So we have to either be tricked to believing that we're not naturally happy and believing that we need other different things in this physical world, of course, to make us happy, and that's not the truth. Which is like, I'm getting tongue twisted and talking too much, but in the sense of they give you a car, hey, this gonna make you happy, this or whatever. But then once you gotta pay the oil change and all these different maintenance fees and all this shit, you be like, what the fuck? Registration every month, driver's license every year just to maintain a car. Same with an apartment, like you, or a house. I talked about in the last video, but there's so many other different things where you, even with relationships, like you want a relationship, but the things you gotta do to maintain that relationship and keep it being positive and growing is not as easy as it's gonna look. And we ask for a lot of things and don't really understand what that shit, the price of, what the true price of it will be. Like for celebrities and shit, bro, they're really enslaved to the masses and being having to stay trendy. Like if the masses don't deem you as valuable, or you if you're not entertaining anymore, like you're useless. Like they might keep a memory of you, but you're not that same light anymore. And that's a lot of people. Like if you even look at in the NBA, I just say this real quick, like people like D Rose and certain athletes, bro, they got to go to China and play like one-on-one with these Chinese people, and the shit looks so depressing, because you think in the summertime that they get the rest and shit, but no, they got to go do marketing in other countries, because the other countries are just as much money in sales and shit like that than it is in America. So it's like, in the sense of the China market is the new slaves for Hollywood, for anything. Because if you look at the sales markets of international versus period sales versus international with versus what's that shit called, the some of the D whatever, versus the national shit. Even if you think about jobs and shit, bro, they'd rather go international because there's more people that willing to work for less than we are. So it's like they're the new slaves when it come to entertainment and making currency go, versus us. And it's like we're losing happiness, we're losing faith in our government and certain shit. And you can see the changing and happening and shit like that. And if they don't maintain everybody at least fit, like, the best thing I could say is, like, if you look at the archetypes of America, we all felt like being this or that would get us a certain way. Like being an athlete, being artistic, or being gothic, or being a loner, or being like all these different things. We thought this was the way because we seen other people do it, and it's like, yeah, they got lucky because they beat the odds. So it's like once we see that these archetypes are dead, like the Make America Great Again, or not even that, but the American dream. Once you see like the American dream is dead, like the masses start to they get fidgety in a sense, and they start to look for more answers. So eventually, if they can't keep the status quo the same, or keeping everybody distracted and shit like that, then you're not even what do you call it? You're not even useful. And the government and media think that like that too. Like if you're not a good distraction, bro, they're not gonna put you out there. And think about the distractions that they're using right now. They're all negative because there's no really other things that they can keep you distracted with besides sports. And we already see how sports are getting too much politics and shit. So people are starting to wake up to the scams and shit, and they don't really want that. It's too much. Like even with the fake news and shit, they're trying to push that. The people that push that agenda out, they're trying to get that out, because the fact that it's even a possibility of you questioning is this fake news or not is a problem. So they're losing certain controls and shit like that. And the things that used to keep us distracted don't no longer keep us distracted. And even with this dumbass Lil Pump shit, like all this shit gonna die down. I say Lil Pump because literally, like, they're all little somethings. I don't even know. Like I always say his name though, but he gets the grudge of all of it. But it's all of them. Lil Uzi Verse, Lil Yachty's, all them niggas, bro. They all are products of that shit, of bad entertainment. And it's like that's the only thing they got right now at this moment. Is just, and it's the reason they're doing that is because that means like anybody can feel like they can do it now. That's the only dream that's left. Like, hey, do whatever you gotta do, act however stupid you gotta do, and like you gonna make money off of it. So that's what people are doing, and that's the only dream that's really relevant right now. And once that shit die down, bro, it's really over. But still, it's like I really got off track, but yeah, bro, back to the maintaining happiness. That's kind of the thing that I wanted to talk about But I mean, it's pretty much already said, bro. Like with love and shit, they push that shit out cold hard. Like love gonna change our life. We already have natural love in us, bro. Like this, it hasn't changed anybody's life. Your parents love you. It's not gonna make your life better. Finding love is not gonna make your life better. That's an illusion too. Honestly. But I mean, I know I'm being a Debbie Downer, but it's just honestly, y'all are to me like as the masses, you let these people maintain fame because you think they're everything, but they're only really putting on masses. Like Future, he said he don't really take drugs, but he know that the masses take drugs and that's how they cope with reality. So if I do that, I can stay in the limelight. Same for other people. They keep talking about drugs because they know that's the shit that keep them popular, but they ain't sold drugs in years. So it's like, what is, like, are they really these people still, or are they just maintaining that illusion? I mean, we know Jay-Z don't do it, but we see how Jay-Z changed. Like, even then, you become too stagnant. Like, once you get to, like, 40, 50, you start to see kind of like, hey, man, we don't want to see you talking about that no more. So, I mean, certain people can get away with it versus others, but it's like you still kind of subjugated to what the masses think. Certain people get out of that light in a kind of, like, you know, the Lauryn Hills and shit. But even then, you see how, like I talked about it, their legacy kind of being tarnished because they didn't keep everybody chasing that pursuit of happiness. Lauryn Hill started breaking down reality and showing how people need to start dealing with shit more than, you know, chasing these fake goals and shit. So people start to, you know, hate on her because it's like people don't really want to do work; they just want to really laugh. And it's sad, bro, because that's all y'all do is physically work. But I guess physically working is easier than doing mental work. I used to say that too. Like, once my mind gets tired, I'm shut down. My body can always kind of keep going. But once my mind say, all right, I'm done with this shit, the body following right after it. Because, I mean, you can kind of push your body to keep going in a sense. Like, Will Smith talked about if we on the treadmill together, either I'm going to beat you or I'm going to die. Because it's like your mind. So it's like, that's kind of what I'm trying to say. But I'm off topic in a sense. I feel like, who knows? I'm just ranting. Trying to think what else they talk about. And wisecracks. They said something else dealing with, not necessarily happiness, but dealing with psychology. I mean, that's their whole show, but they said something that was real important. Fuck, I can't think of it. And it's not worth making another video, but I definitely want to think about it. But, yeah, whatever. But just think about, bro, why do we have to pursue shit? Why is that illusion even out there, bro? If everything's already given to us, bro, why do we have to pursue this thing? Well, what is happiness? I talk about everything really being temporary, love temporary, because once you start figuring out the work behind the shit, you be like, I love, all right, that shit cool, but I'd rather just chill. I mean, for certain people not strong enough to get through it. Or certain people just never met the right person to be compatible with in a sense. So, I mean, you finding love in the wrong places, so you really like, fuck no. But still, it's like, it's certain shit I understand obtaining, but it's like, at some point, bro, it's only trying to please our depression or that shit. Like you said, like the pursuit. We're trying to please that pursuit. We're trying to end that pursuit. But for some reason, I don't feel like that pursuit ends here. Like if you think that pursuit ends here, you're fucking lost. And I guess that's the point of my video. I know it's not here, bro. It's like, and that's what people end up falling into, or either they fall into chasing it so much because it's really a drug. And I tweeted this, like they chase it so much until it destroys them, or where they really just don't want it anymore. And it's just like, well, now I don't even want happiness. I don't even want to search for anything great. I'm just going to be a pawn, a claw, because I don't really mean shit. My life is meaningless. So now you're useless. But that's because that's what they wanted you to do. They make you search for some shit here, knowing it's not here. And then once you don't find it, you just like, fuck it. Do drugs and keep contributing to being a great fucking citizen, a good nigger sticker. Because I don't give a fuck if you working or doing drugs or in whatever, bro. If you in jail or anything, you a good nigger. You making money for America. I don't give a fuck if you locked up or anything. If you caught up in this system one way or another, willingly or unwillingly, nigga, you still making them thrive. So it's like you wasn't smart enough to get out. I don't give a fuck if you got arrested or not. Should have been smart enough not to get caught. And the same for the people that's stuck in here just because they want to be, nigga. You should have been smart enough to work your way out of here by now. And it's like, and I'm being facetious, but that's just not our lack of understanding. We don't even get close to that idea. Like, we think everything fine or there's something wrong with us. And that's sad. We literally be like, oh, it's our fault. I mean, it's cool to think that because it's like, all right, I got to be the bigger person at all times. But like, bro, ain't no being a bigger person when niggas is literally trying to be a parasite. Vampires on your energy at all times, especially in this place. Like, and it's the truth, bro. Like, sis, I keep saying bro. But, I mean, what else I was saying? I know my phone about to die, but I only got like 3 minutes left. What else I was about to say? Yeah, bro. And it wears people out, bro. Because I know people that's tired of searching for love and they die independent. And it's like, you have, I guess everything here is temporary because everything here comes in cycles. And once we get out of time, once we get back to our timeless beings, then we can make shit last forever. Because what is forever here when shit's time? Like, time shows shit that's not, like, time is a marker that show you it's not gonna last forever. Like, that's the whole thing about going through death. Like, honestly, if you understand that time is fake, then you understand death is not real. So you start breaking out of these illusions. But honestly, still being here, I mean, you still kind of be stuck with that death shit and trying to figure out the true answers to it. But hopefully that made sense what I said. But yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, bro, being timeless, we would be able to make it last forever because it's like we can be stuck in a moment. And that's what we try to do here. We try to be stuck in a moment. And it's like, how gonna make you gonna come down? You're going to come down. And I've seen it time and time again. When I say I took every drugs, I mean that because I feel my reincarnations. I feel my ancestors. I know our ancestors and built everything they wanted. When I say we look at the invention log, we created almost everything, but yet our people still broken. You think they want their inventions or their people to be broken? Like, the inventions was to help us, but they was like the cotton gin that was supposed to help us. But now, we wasn't really necessarily slaves anymore. But now we are slave to the product because they don't need us to produce the cotton, but they still need us to buy it. One way or another, we're still consumed by this energy that they use, or at least against us because we're not smart enough to see this shit. But I did see somebody say that all cotton shit should be free. Somebody's starting to catch on. But honestly, it shouldn't even be free. They shouldn't be able to sell that shit. And it should be given over to the black communities to start benefiting on. All forms included. That should be the truth. Or at least we get a big revenue stream of that, but then it wouldn't matter because if we get a revenue stream, the money will stop being spent there because it's like, well, why would I buy the shit that I own? So then we wouldn't make as much money off that shit anyway. So yeah, give us our forms back, but we'll create whatever. But still, I'm just saying, like, we often get trapped in shit, bro. And this world is full of them hoes. Like, it's full of temporary shit, man. Everything's temporary here. And that's a part of the clock. It's a season. Even if it's temporary, it's going to come back around, yeah, but it's seasonal. That's why we go through seasonal emotions. People call us bipolar or whatever. It's like, yeah, I'm going to be this for a while, then I'm going to be that, then I'm going to be that. And it's like, all right, well, now I'm tired of being all of those things. Can I combine all of it and make a fucking superhero? Hopefully. That's what I think we got to do. I think that's what's going to make us come back to our holistic self and being God again, bringing all ourselves together. And not necessarily fucking people out here. I mean the versions of yourself, your actual individual selves. Bring them together, then you become holistic and maybe you get out of time and shit like that because you keep living your life in cycles and keep living in seasons instead of just being holy and just being one. So yeah, I think that's the goal, man. And what we're trying to do, but just letting people know, bro, you gotta search for something greater than temporary happiness or temporary anything. Stop trying to come